So to that person that asked me, if Bitcoin's going to have a large correction, how do I know what altcoin to short? Go and look at the alt BTC pair. And if this pair is making lower lows and lower highs, and then the whole market corrects, that alt is going to get smoked harder than Bitcoin. If you're ever looking for which altcoin you should trade, compare it against Bitcoin, compare it against Ethereum, compare it against a strong alt like Solana, and compare it against any alt. You can go in here and you can type in LTC USD divided by Sol USD, and that will give you LTC over Sol, right? Which obviously we will know will be in a massive downtrend, right? Because Sol is shit kicking LTC. But you can see that comparison. You can do this for any assets, any coins, whatever you want. So if you're like, should I short FET or should I short, I don't know, fucking sushi? I have no fucking clue. I'm just pulling these out of my ass. This would give you the FET sushi pair, and you could see which of the two is stronger. And if the market's going to correct and this is in a downtrend, you would want to short FET. If the market's going to correct and this is in an uptrend, you're going to want to short sushi. Okay, so let's look. Let's just literally do that. So you type it in, then you hit divide, then you type in the other asset, and you get the comparison. So this is effectively FET over sushi, the same way you can do FBTC, right? This gives you that same thing. So if I were to go look at FET and I was going to look at sushi, what one do you think would be doing better based on this chart? Obviously the numerator. So if the fraction is in an uptrend, the alt BTC fraction, or the alt and then the other alt. So like if the numerator and the denominator, right? Because that's all this is. If the chart is going up, the numerator is stronger. The chart is going down, the denominator is stronger. It's just math. Like that's fucking alpha, guys. I have a series called the altcoin series on my YouTube, and I have 2 videos where I go over the ratios and I go over comparing alts against each other. And I think it's something that people fundamentally don't understand, and it's shocking. That's why I use the dollar, right? People are always like, why are you always looking at DXY? What the fuck do you think this is? It's this. So if I know what this is, and I know that this is bullish and this is bearish, right? Or this is bullish, I can make those same predictions, right? Because I don't know if it's going to happen. It's an educated guess. So that's why I got bullish on the dollar here and I was bearish on Bitcoin in July, and that was the top. And then when the dollar topped out, September 25th, the dollar tops out. September 25th, Bitcoin starts to rip. It's the same concept. It's just a fraction. Link Marine says he's going to compare all the alts to Link versus when he gets home. Okay, well, let's look at this. Let's see how your Link's doing versus Solana. Not bad. Doing okay recently. Kind of going sideways, kind of even. Let's look at, Link was shit kicking for a while here. Solana's been shit kicking for the most recent bit. Link's absolutely been crushing Ethereum, right? So for the last few months here, since June, Link is up 175% relative to Ethereum. But keep in mind, this is what Link's looked like since August of 2020. So even to now, since August, it's down 85% relative to Ethereum. Perspective is everything. Don't marry your bag. Don't make your username a coin, Link Marine, because then you're going to have a bias where you only want to focus on your one coin. And yeah, maybe your coin is doing well right now, but for a 3-year period of time, it was getting smashed. Ethereum outperformed Link for 3 straight years. Link has been outperforming Ethereum for 3 months, right? Perspective. So don't marry a bag. Don't marry a bias. Be fluid. Go find the setups that are easy. Take those trades. Don't get tied up in the bullshit. Man, I got a question for you. In the moment that BTC hypothetically falls 10%, which alts would you choose to short? So there's a technical answer to this, and then there's a much simpler answer. So I'll give you the much simpler answer. To me, the simplest answer is you want to trade the one in which you see the easiest setup, right? And I talk about this all the time. I think people get obsessed with finding the higher beta play. They always want to find the coin that's going to go up the most or the coin that's going to go down the most. And they're always obsessed with finding that biggest gainer or biggest loser. And that's the one that you want to trade. Obviously, that's the ideal. But there's almost always going to be a coin that goes up more than the coin that you long. There's almost always going to be a coin that goes down more than the coin that you short. I think a much better strategy is finding the chart where you can most easily identify where your entry would be, where your risk is, where's your idea wrong, what's the invalidation consolidation and where you would target. Because if you don't know those things, you don't have a trade anyways. So that would be what I would do and what I focus on. I'm not always concerned about finding the coin that went up the most. It's the coin or the setup that is the most easy for me to identify. Now, if you're super keen and you want tips on how can you find the higher beta plays, you're going to want to use your cross market analysis. If you think Bitcoin is going to pull back 10%, so you want to get short some alts, I would then go and look at what alts look the weakest versus Bitcoin, versus Ethereum, versus Solana. Because if you're trying to short Solana, it looks pretty good against BTC and Ethereum. So if BTC dumps, yeah, it will go down, but probably not as much as something that looks like shit versus BTC and versus Ethereum. So if you're trying to find the higher beta play, you're going to want to use that cross market analysis to do so. Look at what coins are underperforming versus BTC and ETH. And if ETH and BTC get that larger correction, those coins are likely going to bleed harder.